Someone liked the show already. I love when the like button pops up early. I think that was for the intro. The intro gets me sometimes too. Anyway, today is November 5th. This is the 30th episode of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism. I've got my hoodie on in deference to the fact that it's been a year since I created Hero Hoodies. Hero Hoodies has expanded now, has become the Hero Ministry movement. Hero Ministry movement is a big, multi-layered thing. It is my effort to inspire and uplift the unhoused in many different ways. So my quick disclaimer is I am not a certified personal trainer, nor am I a licensed financial advisor. So do your own research and homework about the various things that I say. I am simply sharing with you what has worked for me, and in many cases, what has not worked for me. So shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me the space and opportunity to be here and to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. And in the case of this season, my journey of becoming my own financial hero. So there's the website, ntmedia.org. You can make a donation. You can also check out the other programming on the network. So please do that. Okay, so it's Freeflow Friday. As named by Nan, it is Freeflow Friday. I'm going to free flow with it today. So there's a couple things that I want to cover. I want to do, usually on Friday, I would do a recap of every single day of the week. I think I'm going to push past that and just ping some things. So let's start off with the Hero Ministry news. Today is day 158 of the Hero Charity Run. And I have been told by several people that I made things more confusing yesterday as I tried to simplify things. So let me simplify it even more. The reason I jumbled it yesterday is because I couldn't figure out how to talk about it, but I think I got it today. So this is day 158. There are 28 days left. There are 100 miles left, and it's $1,700 left. That's it. That's where we are. So did I say 28 days? 29 days, but close enough. We are in the final countdown to December 4th. December 4th is the date of the 4th annual Hoodies for the Homeless event created by Project Love Strong, one of my Elevating 8 nonprofits. Did I say 4th annual? Yeah, 4th annual. And I launched Hero Hoodies at the 3rd annual. Yeah, at the 3rd annual. I still can't believe it's only been a year. So much has happened. But yeah, I launched Hero Hoodies at the 3rd annual. So this will be the 4th annual. And so my goal is to complete my charity run and my donations by December 4th. And then on that day or immediately after, be able to disperse the funds to all of the Elevating 8 nonprofits. There's 3 in Nashville, 3 in Memphis, 1 in Louisville, and 1 in St. Louis, Missouri. So shout out to all those Elevating 8 nonprofits. I'm so grateful that First Baptist Church Capitol Hill in Nashville has chosen to get involved with several of those nonprofits, as has Reverend Melissa. And you will see on Sunday, Ramona Curtis, who is the founder of Unhoused St. Louis. So that is the one nonprofit out of St. Louis that works with the unhoused. So don't miss that. It was a really great episode, really great interview. Okay, so I hope that makes it clear for everybody. It certainly made it much clearer for me. So that's where we are, $1,700 left. And so please share so that other people will choose to get involved and make a donation of any amount. It was funny, I was talking to a corporate sponsor and trying to get them to sponsor. And she said, well, you're almost done. You're basically done. You don't need any help. And I was like, well, okay, like I accept that. I choose to accept that energy because that's not how I was feeling when I was talking to her. I was like, can you give me a donation? She's like, you're almost done. So I'm claiming the energy of almost done. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna blow past these last $1,700 and meet and exceed our goal. There we go. Okay, so let's move on to last thing. A few of you reached out to say that my thoughts about asking for what you want spoke to you. So let me just ping that again. know what you want, and ask for what you want. Because in my case, I knew exactly what I wanted, and I deliberately asked for less than what I wanted. And in my mind, I was thinking, I'm going to ask for less than what I want, but they're going to give me more than what I asked for. And the universe doesn't work like that. The universe does not work like that. Ask for what you want. Ask greatly. Dare to ask greatly. That is the lesson. And I have reinforced that lesson with myself. And one of you told me that you got that lesson yesterday and therefore asked for exactly what you wanted and was able to get exactly what you wanted. So bravo. I'm glad that that resonated. Certainly it resonated with me. I will ask for what I want moving forward in this space. And so this space of the Hero Charity Run has been so educational on so many different levels. Okay, so that said, last thing for Hero Ministry News is, again, shout out to Jacinta in Louisville for ordering 32 hoodies. 32 hoodies are on their way to Louisville, Kentucky to be distributed in and around the spaces that Jacinta occupies. So very excited about that. I can't wait to hear the story, get the picture. Moving on, let's talk about money. Let's do our little affirmation. It's not little, it is a big affirmation. But I want to ground us in this affirmation. So we're just going to do this twice. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. So just a reminder, what I'm doing is calling into being the fact that being a multimillionaire does not just apply to money. It applies to abundance, and abundance can be manifested in a number of different ways. And again, just a reminder, in all the work and research that I've done over the past couple of years about abundance, they all start with mindset. They all start with mindset. And most of them stay in mindset before they move on to practical applications of how to make more money. It all starts in the mind. And there are several stories, I'm sure you've heard them, of people who have won the lottery, won millions of dollars, and ended up broke. That's because they didn't shift their mindset. You got to have a mindset of money. Anyway, let me not get off on any tangents because there's a lot I want to cover in this money section. So let's get back to these bricks. Okay, so bricks. This is how I'm describing this wall of investing, creating this wall brick by brick. So for me, the first brick is what I call the garden money brick, and that's an index fund of any shape or stripe. Get you an index fund. And generally, my philosophy for all these bricks is riding other people's coattails. In other words, don't try to figure out the answer. Don't try to dope it out for yourself. Just use the fact that other people have already done this research and ride their coattails. So an index fund, just a quick reminder, has tons of companies in it. The S&P 500 has literally 500 companies in the index fund, so it's hard to go wrong with that. Moving on. Next brick is the growth money brick. So we talked about this quite a bit. FANG is an acronym. It stands for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and those are growth stocks that use their money to reinvest into themselves rather than pay out a dividend. Therefore, they grow faster. So you could buy individually into those five, or you could find a growth ETF that covers perhaps those five, but maybe some others. There are plenty of growth ETFs out there. So just do a Google search for that if you're interested. Next brick, income money brick. In other words, money's coming in. That can come in the form of dividends. And you can buy individual stocks like, let's say, AT&T that pays a high dividend of about 7%. So that's $2 per share per year. Or again, you could find an ETF for dividends, and there'll be like 50, 60, 100, 200 companies within the ETF, which minimizes your risk because there's so many companies within the ETF. That's the third brick. Fourth brick. Fourth brick. Real estate investment trust. That's the new brick that I've been talking about this week. So REIT is a real estate investment trust, and essentially it is a way to get exposure to a different asset class, the asset class of real estate, without having to spend as much money as you would have to spend if you were going to go out and buy real estate for yourself. So my philosophy, my developing philosophy about asset classes that I don't know that much about, is defer to an ETF. Instead of trying to figure out exactly which REIT to buy, I'm deferring to an ETF. I haven't found one yet, but it is my intention to find an ETF that covers REITs. That said, I have been talking about LTC, which is a singular REIT that owns 159 properties in the senior housing space. And that has really opened my mind to the fact that so much of the world around us is publicly traded. So if you're considering a senior housing facility, you need to find out if it's publicly traded. And if it is, you need to buy significant amounts of stock if you're going to be there. If you're going to be there, then you need to have a controlling interest, and they need to know you have a controlling interest, because therefore you can affect how that company works, how they operate, because they're always going to defer to the investors over the residents. That said, my risk brick is cryptocurrency. Now, I feel like I can play with the risk brick because I put these other bricks in place for the most part. So as you know, if you've been watching the show, I believe that cryptocurrency has already won, and it's just a matter of the world waking up to that fact, because there's over $2 trillion in cryptocurrency already, and at least five different countries, are trading cryptocurrency on the stock market in their countries. So that said, I have created something that I call the 80% rule. So this is the rule that I apply to any risk brick, and I'm suggesting, although I'm not a financial advisor, that you apply this rule to your risk brick as well. So let me say that again together. If you're going to be risky, if you're going to create a risk brick, I suggest that you apply the 80% rule. What is 80% rule? If the stock falls by 80%, will you be okay? That's basically the whole rule. And I'm using Netflix as an example, because Netflix, when it was launched, when they did their IPO, that stock was less than $2 per share, right? Can you imagine? Less than $2 per share. It skyrocketed up to about $40 per share, but then it dropped down to $8, and it stayed at $8 for quite some time. Now, knowing what we know now, we know obviously people who had that stock should have kept it, because we know Netflix is Netflix now, but it's easier to look back in retrospect. It's a no-brainer at this point, but at that point, when you had it at 2 and it went up to 40 and dropped down to 8, a lot of people got out because they were scared. And so it dropped by 80%. And so for your risk brick, you have to be sure about it. It's got to be something that you believe in yourself. It can't be a tip from someone else. You got to really believe in it. So I really believe in cryptocurrency. I really believe now, again, that it has already happened, and it's just a matter of waiting for the world to wake up. So I'm willing to invest in that stock, in that asset class, and I'm willing to ride it out. Like, even if my holdings drop 80%, I'm willing to ride it out because I believe it's going to win. And I could be wrong, but that's my conviction. And so for whatever asset class, for whatever market sector you decide that you're going to play in terms of risk, apply the 80% rule. Can you ride it out if it drops down 80%? Can you ride it out? All right. So that's my time, I think. Yeah, that's my time. And I just want to, the last thing I'll say is remember your resources. Check out the Get Rich 101 podcast. Check out The Science of Getting Rich, which is the book I'm reading in the Get Rich 101 podcast. Check out Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All right, so we'll pick up there on Monday. Keep doing, be a hero, be your own financial hero. And remember that now, right now, is better than perfect. And I'll see you soon.